Today, we got our good friend Yawt. Was behind me?
Yeah, he was behind us.
There he is. He's going to be showing us the art of trapping hogs.
Yes, the correct.
The correct art of trapping hogs.
Yeah, because we've never done this before.
I've caught one or two.
Yeah, maybe a couple.
Yeah, one of the properties that we're on right now is being tore up in the yard. So what we did is we took and prepped a spot, got a trap set, and we'll show all y'all that, and kind of get the feel of it. And hopefully we're gonna catch some big hogs tonight.
Hopefully.
So the thing about being a professional corn pourer to trap hogs is toting the corn first. Luckily for the ladies, we got a long ways to tote. There's two of them, they can tote half and half.
Hey, that's right. That's right.
Look, we can play rock, paper, scissors.
Oh man,
Who's going first?
it's always rock.
Always throw rock first. Always throw rock first. You know how many times I've run rock, paper, scissors from that?
No, you got that, Dub.
You got it? You gonna put it on your shoulder?
Look at this. Get my workout in for today, guys. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
He didn't hurt. Hey, he didn't hurt the sack rattle. He didn't hurt the sack rattle.
You want to go ahead and lead the way?
Yeah, look at where all the hogs. Oh my Lord.
Just 3 hogs did this to this lady's yard?
Yeah, just 3 hogs.
Holy cow. Look at all the cows.
Got some cows.
This one right here, this little white one.
Oh
Whenever
my
we got
gosh,
here, it
look
took
at-
off running.
Look at the little one.
Normally.
Look at it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that one's hungry. That one's like starved.
But you got to break new people in.
Yeah, I see why you drive.
Just wait till the hog dragging starts.
Oh, Lord. That's what we ought to do. We got to make sure that we put the hogs far away so you get
Yeah, so you get the
the full experience.
full experience, right?
You don't want to cheap out on nothing. You know what I mean?
As they say, like Mr. Miyagi would probably be. Tote the corn, drag the hog.
They're like, I have no idea.
The cows are following us.
Yeah, he's hungry.
I'd be hungry too. Why y'all walk so fast?
I'm wondering the same thing.
I know, good Lord, I'm trying to keep up.
It's easier when you ain't coaching.
This is not what I was envisioning.
Me either. How does this like work?
All right, so right now we have the trap suspended in the air. It's being held up by the cables, and this trip wire it's suspended by the cables onto a trip right in the middle, right in the center, and we'll drop this with my cell phone. So when these hogs show up, I'll be able to pull this up live, see that the hogs are in the trap, and then hit the drop button. This will just slide down real fast, and then it's on.
Now, I remember you saying something about how hogs can jump out, and now that I'm looking at this thing, how a hog can jump that high?
Well, this will be down here in the morning.
Yeah, but
Yeah, well, still 4 foot, so this will be 4 foot with the jump range.
I couldn't jump over that.
Oh, yeah. If your life depended on it.
If somebody was
Whoa,
serious,
you're not wrong.
Looking at you.
You'd be surprised what you could do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so hopefully everything goes right. Right now, I've had it prepped. The hogs have come in for the last 2 nights. So, hopefully, we'll get them in here tonight, and I'll be awake until, because like I said, we're on a short term. Y'all come in for a couple hours, a couple of nights.
Yeah.
And hopefully we get these caught, and then in the morning we'll show up at daylight, because once they can see the other side of their land, they realize all night they'll keep their head down, and they'll just be rooting right on the edge of this. And then when it gets daylight, it's like the head looks up, and they're like, okay, I might be able to. They don't know they can jump.
Hogs can't dig.
They root.
Yeah.
So what I always say, dogs dig, hogs root. So in order even to get out, you would have to be able to root enough for your body to get through there. And that's where dogs, like I said, they dig. So hogs don't do that.
They're just with their nose. They're just
flipping
flipping it up.
They can get a good bit, but
Not enough for their
So
body
they
to
can't
get
like
underneath.
break through this. Like if it's
Well,
like a really
we
big hog.
Yeah, well, not yet. But there's always potential for more fun. So if one does break out,
Who's gonna get on its back and
I'm gonna be running the other direction.
this is the thing that I've learned with my age. Laying down and screaming never helps. So keep running.
Just don't look
just
back.
don't stop. Just do
don't
not stop.
Yeah, we'll be blasting hopefully if that happens. But we
If
should.
you ain't the first person out, don't be the last.
But surely to goodness, the trap will hold up one more time for the girls.
That's
You know, don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Just need one more time. So what I do, the girls are here. They're just learning about the trapping and whatnot, kind of getting a feel for it. They might want to do it down there where they from. So they come up, gonna hang out with Yawt for a little bit. And hopefully we'll have a little more help in the morning. If Harlow can come, then maybe y'all won't have to do as much work. But that's only a maybe, you know, because Harlow likes to break people in too. He's done it since he was like 10.
Mm-hmm.
So he don't like to drag no more either. But the full experience of it all, hopefully we're going to have that for you. So
You've never like jumped in the pen with the hogs.
no, I'm pretty dangerous. So yeah, it might get tore apart if I was to get in there.
Oh,
So,
right, yeah. Like it can withhold the hogs, but like
Yeah, it can't hold
you just,
me. It
yeah,
can't
you
hold
just
me.
might be too much.
So I'm going to show you kind of how we made it. You can see that all the corn is gone in the trap right now. And I have the safety pins in because you never want to go under without safety pins because anything can happen. It's man-made. Man makes problems. So so of course this has got an X right here in the middle, kind of lets you know where the center of the trap is. Mm-hmm. And then you like this. You always pile corn up. A lot of hunters, you know, they're raised to just throw out corn and feed and kind of spread out. But here, what you want in this trap is these hogs huddled up like football players.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just eating. And that way you can always see where their tailbone is to make sure they are inside the trap.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're inside the trap, it's going to be a bad day for them.
What's the biggest hog you've ever caught?
So biggest, it'll be over
Now listen,
340.
we only one day from the Sabbath, so just,
Yeah.
One day removed from Sabbath and you are already lying.
I ain't lying yet. Yeah, the biggest hog will probably be 340 or 345-ish.
So like tonight we're obviously gonna have to break that record. We're gonna have to get like 350 just because
Yeah.
we are
Professional. Y'all finna show the
we're
professional.
going to show
Yeah,
the
we're gonna show you
professional
how
what
it's
it's like
done.
to be a real
We're
professional.
gonna show you what's up.
Hey, well, if we catch these hogs, we're going to have about 350 pounds of it. So, most definitely. But any which way, and that's it. And once I come out, I'll pull the safety pins. And then we're set. We're ready. They'll come in here, hopefully feed tonight. They got 50 pounds between 3 hogs. Should be plenty of food to keep them here. Because you don't want to give them just a little bit of food. Because if 1 or 2 eats and one's outside the trap, and they've already eat all the food and they just move on. So
Yeah.
we want to give them plenty. It's a buffet.
Right.
It's a buffet.
They just
We
need
don't
to
want
keep
them
on
to just
eating.
walk off. We
No,
want them to
we don't
keep
want
coming.
Stay here. Lay down.
stay a while.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So anyway, other than that, we just got to get out of here, pull the safety pins, and then wait on the hogs. Be ready.
Sit and wait.
I'm excited.
So like you have to come out here. Obviously, you come out here and you set all this up. How do you set all this up, and what is this part of the contraption?
Do you set this up by yourself?
Yes. So these are in 4 sections, and then it's just got a cross center piece. Set it up, stick them together, bolt them. Put the cross members in the middle. It's just an X, and that makes everything stabilized, and you're able to raise it up. And then we hook this camera system up, which is a live feed camera. What it does is, on my app, I pull it up, I can watch them walking around. It's not a picture, I see it live. And then, of course, this is just a flagpole with an antenna. I used it for my last job. I had no service. I just run the flagpole up with the antenna on it as high as it would go, and it gave me better service. That's all this is. But mainly, it's just a camera and an antenna. And when I hit the drop button, send the signal down to the center.
How long does it take you to set all this up by yourself?
I think yesterday, or day before yesterday, it took about 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not very long. unless, like I said, unless I take breaks or stuff. But it's not long at all.
Well, I guess you also do this all the time, so
Yeah,
you pretty
like
you got the setup.
When
pretty,
you're a professional,
Yeah.
you know.
when you do this all the time.
Yeah, when it's part of your daily life, it just. But I do have traps that are harder to put together. I usually save those traps when I probably got 30 hogs. You know, they're a little bit harder, bigger.
I was about to
See,
say,
when you said this
like,
was like a, whenever you were explaining, saying it was like a smaller trap, I was not expecting. This is a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, this is only like 12 or 13 foot.
For some reason, I was thinking it was gonna be like
a dog kennel,
like 5 foot round. Like we were gonna be like.
Yeah, yeah. So when this comes down, this will be about 4 foot, and if we have trouble, which I hardly ever have trouble, but if, like my other trap,
I mean, I
don't ever have trouble. But like my other trap's a little bit taller, so I'll take like the box that the solar panel sits on the battery. I'll pull it over here, and that way I can aim down to take out the pigs. On this one, it's not that hard. I mean, you're literally just looking right over. So,
Yeah.
And they're not far away. So those other traps, you know, they're over 30 feet away from you. So it's still like, they say it's shooting fish in a barrel, but it's a big barrel.
So wait, what's like the biggest trap that you have, like
I
compared
have
to
a
this
30
one?
footer, and then I have an 18 footer.
Holy, 30 foot.
Yeah, so it would cover up this whole little area right here.
Yeah.
Since we're in a tight spot, it's only a couple, 3 hogs. But these 3 hogs are worse than some of the 30 I got because we're trapping these hogs to keep them out of somebody's yard.
Yeah.
So, lady lives there. You come out in the middle of, or not in the middle of the night, but the hogs come out in the middle of the night. But you wake up in the morning and your whole yard's tore up.
Yeah.
So
That would suck.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to hog in
See, this is crazy because it's like hogs don't do this where we live.
Yeah.
Like you don't ever see somebody's yard or hear about somebody's yard being tore up by a hog.
Yeah, well, it's, like I said, it's this time of the year where grub worms, earthworms, nut grass in your yard, those hogs can just sense it. They just come. It's that time of year, new green growth. And what we did, we prepped a spot. We kept them fat and happy, so they didn't want to go root. Because the thing about feeding hogs, if they got enough feed, they don't root. They only root looking for food. So if you feed them basically like cattle, then they get full. It's hot. They go lay back down until the next night. That's all they do. All they want to do is eat.
Right. Hey, me too.
Lay up. Right. Me too.
I'm a fan.
I got one hobby. What's that? So trapping used to be my hobby until it became my job. So all I got now is eating like these hogs. Technically, these hogs could be right here. They could be within 100 yards.
They're just out there sleeping.
They're just chilling. But they're so used to the lawnmower in the background, the guys over building the porch. We don't have any hollering today, but you know, the other day you had people hollering in the road down there, you know. Had a 4-wheeler Sunday. The guy was literally riding right down the line right here, but the hogs are still coming in. So it's just things like that. So they're more used to everything that's going on right now.
Yeah, they're.
So hopefully, even with us here now talking, they could just be right there. They're not bothered by it because they're so used to it.
Yeah, they're used to being around. They're used to being around people.
Right.
All the noise and everything.
They're far from tame, but they're just used to this area.
They don't. They're not frightened so easy.
Right. So, but when we show up, they're gonna be frightened. I know they will be when they see me.
Oh, wow.
They didn't heard about me. They didn't heard. Oh, we knocked the heads. But yeah, other than that, that's it. It seems simple for what part we've done. Just being here, but yeah, 20 minutes. I got this trap set up, but it takes about a week to get to this point.
Yeah, because
A lot of preparing.
Yeah, prep work, and then we do this every. You know, I got 4 traps, so I got 4 spots all the time, just moving best I can. So
You got a lot going on.
always, always.
So since me and Z don't actually have our trapping license, because here in Mississippi you need a license to.
Yeah, you got to have a license to trap. And of course, y'all being out of state,
Yeah.
it costs a lot of money. So
Yeah.
just come and learn and kind of see how it goes.
We're just trying to get a feel.
yeah,
for the,
just know what's going on.
That's right. Because we actually trapped and whatnot. Like I said, I think the out-of-state trapping license is like $300 or something like that. So between y'all two and pop over him,
That'd be an expensive trip.
that you want to pay, no pay.
He's
like, leave me out of this.
Like, no
He's like-
thanks.
But yeah, so we had a hog come in last night, but like I said, on this piece of property, we got them tearing the yard up. So we don't want to just catch one. I don't know where his buddies were last night, but they were not
They were sending him in as bait.
Yeah,
See?
like-
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were like, go test it out.
They probably heard us over here yesterday. I don't know. Maybe we made too much noise, but they come in and another big hog come in. But right now, we need to catch that group. And like I said, if I'd have caught them, you know, y'all could have observed and whatnot. But as far as hands-on, it's hard to do without paying that big pricey tag of trapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you catch like one hog, do the other, however, there's what you said, 3 hogs here.
Yeah.
If you catch one, will the other 2 like not ever come back?
A lot of times, you only got that camera. You only got so much view of that camera, so you don't know if they're standing there and they watch it fall. That's more apt to trigger them not to come back to that spot.
Right.
They don't know it's a trap. They just know something didn't go right that was normally going. So they've been coming in the trap, and all of a sudden last night they decided not to. So unless it's real muddy, the only time that I ever see it is when the ground is real muddy and the trap just falls down in the mud and it doesn't make a noise. Like it's just, it's just flat in the mud, don't make a whole lot of noise. And then I can come in the next day, take care of that hog, and then the next night or 2, they'll come on in. But when it's a little dry, a lot of banging going on, they don't like that.
Let me ask you something. Could it have been their perfume? Because, you know, y'all wear perfume.
Got
Well,
no perfume on.
I haven't, you know, when I first started this, speaking of, people would say, you know, you can't urinate around a trap, you know.
Yeah.
Somebody that did yesterday.
Yeah, we got, you know, Papa Ham over here decided he wanted to mark his territory right where we're trying to lure these hogs into.
No, but they did everything that I was trying to learn from older generation of trappers. When I say older generations, I mean, they didn't have these traps, but they're always trying to tell me about traps. And one thing, they were trying to be scent control. As I got older or got more into this, I don't think it's a problem. I think they're so used to everything.
Yeah.
They may stay away 2 or 3 days, but their need to feed is going to overcome any fear.
Yeah.
It's over with.
Slaves to their stomach.
Right. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
So, like, are there any different, what would you say, styles?
Yeah. So
Styles
Yeah,
of traps? Because, I mean, this one's a circle.
yeah, we have you have corral traps, panel traps, box traps, which just is the door. They go in there and they just step on something that makes the door change. So we got several different traps. We got net traps now.
Net trap.
Is this it's like cast net? Like it just,
Like a net, like a nylon, like a batting cage net. And they got them set up now. They're round and above, and they'll go in the net, and the net's in the ground, but they can't root up. They walk on top of the net, so that they don't know to root under the net.
They can't rip through the net.
If they stay in there a long time, they can probably chew on it and stuff like that. The only thing with nets, but it takes them a minute to figure that out, you know. So from what I've seen, I'm just going to start into some net trapping just for the YouTube purposes. But from what I've seen, they just walk on top of the net, so that then they're actually hitting. Say this was the net, they're hitting this, but standing on the net, where they should have been rooting out there 4 foot or so to get under the net, but they don't know that. So
Yeah, they're.
So it's all kind of traps, homemade traps. All the homemade traps are like what I call the meat hog. Your granddaddy go out and just set an old box trap out. A hog goes in there, you catch one. That's for food. What we're doing is for total annihilation.
yeah,
you know?
we're just trying to get rid of as many as possible.
Yeah.
You don't want a snack.
right. So hopefully, like I said, we could have dropped just to have a demonstration of a hog last night, but this lady's yard's being tore up. So if I mess up and don't catch the 3 in one drop that's here in this property, then they don't come in the trap, and they still tear up the yard.
Yeah.
So,
Would it disrupt them too much to demonstrate us dropping the trap now?
no,
Because I don't think y'all ever seen a trap drop?
okay. Yeah, no. So the sound, a lot of times, like I said, we talked about yesterday, they could just be right there and whatever thing. But we are in a community in the country here. They're building a porch over there. That lady's hollering at us when we come up. You know, so just talking. So that's not a problem. It's literally just if there's a hog eating and there's some standing right here when you drop it. So, but yeah, I can demonstrate. I'll go inside and demonstrate it, and everybody just kind of stand back, and that way nothing gets anybody.
Is there a way to like? Well, I guess not. Never mind. I was gonna say if there was like a way to like, if you're on your phone watching.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'll let you drop it with my phone, but I'm just gonna be inside so I don't have to climb back over.
So basically, we're trapping Yawt today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna be in,
Yeah.
waiting on the phone to go away so everybody's calling. It starts.
Hey, when he hands you the phone, PayPal us some money.
Apple Pay us some
Have a
money.
fan run.
Where you? Yeah. See how far we can get before he climbs out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to see what that camera looks like. What it's looking like on the. Does it look just like a trail cam?
Yeah. So you can look right here. Okay. So we're in the app, and we'll hit the play button. All right. So you can see us there.
Oh yeah, I see that.
All right. Now my screen's a little beat up from the travel, but you can see how pretty. I mean, I'm moving pretty quick. So what I want you to do is you'll hit the down button,
Okay.
and then it's gonna pop up yes or no, and you hit yes.
Okay, that's what I was wondering because I was like,
Yeah.
if you click the down button, but you didn't actually want to click the down button, is it
That's
gonna?
right.
Is there a way to like reverse that?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna make sure that I'm out of the way of all. Head ain't up under that.
Yeah, don't get.
Yeah. Get where you need to be.
Tell me when, guys.
Make sure that safety pins, cables, make sure it all drops right. All right, and you just hit the down and then confirm it.
We got him! Yeah! That's like not what I was expecting at all, actually.
Either.
And that's it. I mean, that's basically it. And then they don't know it's that
And then they basically just hit the side just like that. That's basically
That's it.
exactly what these hogs do.
And I let up just so I didn't tear my trap up. I just
understand.
Yeah,
let it
you
go.
didn't want to break the trap. You couldn't go full force.
Yeah.
So, and that's basically it. You can see how quick from the time you punched it was probably a second or
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And
Not
we
enough
have-
time for them to register. They need to hurry up and get out.
Yeah, it don't give them. The only time when it's real quiet, this latch will make when it sends that signal. So it latches here. When it sends that signal, every now and again when it's real still at night, it'll go. Zzz. It just make just that little connection.
Mm-hmm.
And every now and again you'll have them where they hear that before that latch turns loose, but it's not enough time. Like they might be right here and they just smash it. So
You've never like clicked it and had a hog like make it out before?
I have, but it'd be what it is so many hogs that they've not necessarily been eating right here in the corn. They would be eating like right here where so many hogs like kick corn out.
Oh, so it's like they're not.
Spread
So they're
out.
right on the
Yeah.
edge.
But if their tailbone is inside this trap, just right there, their tailbone can be right here.
Mm-hmm.
I can catch them. Like it's not. But like I said, you have some. Usually it's in the colder months.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff kind of freezes up just a little bit, and you'll hear that, zzz, and they hear that, and they just automatically spook.
And they're like,
Yeah, and it just takes.
they're
them-
ready. for,
They're
like-
just a little bit closer to the edge, but I've had it fall on them and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I've
like
had
it-
them catch them and hold them, and I just get up out of bed and just come on and take care of it because he's just up under.
oh, like pinned up. Like,
Yeah, it'd be hung up at the hip, and like
he's just like,
he can't go nowhere.
ew.
But I don't want him to be there all night, you
Yeah.
know. So I just come on
Mm-hmm.
and take care of them. So
It's actually a lot heavier than I thought it was.
yeah, this one's about 600. Now that's counting the bar and everything, you know. But I can throw these together pretty good as long as it's not hot or muddy, raining. You know, a lot of things. If it's just perfect conditions, I can have it. You know, like when I put this trap together, it took 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, when you're sitting this in a mud hole.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. A lot of people ask me on my YouTube channel all the time, why do you set it in the mud? It's not necessarily I'm setting it in the mud. We were pre-baiting, prepping a spot, and the hogs turned it in the mud.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, if you take it, now only a few instances have I moved the site. So if I got here and say it was this much water, okay, now I got two options. I can set it there or say I can move it over here 20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is a hog uses his nose more than his sight, and he knows to come here.
Mm-hmm.
It smells like hog. He's been eating here for a week. Why would he move over there?
Yeah.
So what happens is if you got 10, 12, 15 hogs, half of them may go to the new pile where the trap is, and the other half going to stay here because they've been rooting here for a week.
Yeah.
And it's so to me, even though it's a lot of work, It's just potentially trap-wise, it's easier to just get in the mud and water, set the trap. They know to be there and catch them. So
Does the
See, like-
water make the trap think any different? Like
Oh.
if it were to hit the water or something, does it make it do anything different?
no, it just makes a big splash. It just makes it harder for me. You know, you'll have spots like where the feet of the trap will sink in the mud more. So if it's sinking in the mud more, that makes this lower.
More likely for them to jump out.
Right. So you have to get here earlier or get here in the dark before they figure out that they can get over. So, and not necessarily on this trap because it has a jump ring, but I have other traps that don't have jump rings. It's just maybe the trap may be this high, but they can still jump out. I mean, I got video of it. I'll see if I can pull y'all some.
Yeah.
So like you were saying, if like you wanted to move the corn like 20 foot this way, but let's say you're using this 13 or whatever you
Yeah.
say, 13-foot ring, instead of moving, if you were to move the corn, would you like, instead of moving the whole trap, would you just take away the trap and put the bigger trap instead? So that way you could get more circumference?
Right. So usually the trap size depends on the amount of hogs and how they act. If the hogs are coming into that corn pile and huddle up like football players, we're good with a smaller trap.
Right.
When it gets really hot, they don't like touching one another. So if they're eating but they're spread out more, then they may be spread out 13 foot. Because what happens is if they're not getting together, what they do is they're just kicking corn. They're fighting and kicking corn, and the corn gets out here, and you have a hog in the middle that won't let them eat. So what it is eat the corner.
That's all
kernels
around
on the
it.
Right.
corner. So I'll go to my 18-foot trap or my 30-foot trap, depending on how many hogs it is. Usually that depends on the heat. Usually when it gets hot, they don't like touching one another. They don't
Usually the hotter it gets, the bigger the trap.
Yep, that's basically it. Just give them room. So
We got to make their last couple hours of life, at least a little spacious.
yeah, give them a little room.
You gotta give 'em a little-
room. They're
yeah,
gonna go
yeah.
to the upper room. But yeah, so that's just things that I'm blessed enough, lucky enough to have different traps. A lot of people don't, and I get a lot of questions through emails and social media asking like, if you only have this trap, what do you do?
Right.
And
Where do you put a trap like this? Like where do you store these?
Well, I have a trailer, so I just take them home, put them on my trailer, and then I'll have just a yard full of trailers and traps on them.
Sitting around.
Yeah.
We're gonna look up and see what the laws, regulations, and everything is in Florida in case we want to do this because I mean this does seem really fun to do.
I feel like we could
If I'm being honest.
get into this.
Yeah, we could.
Now wait a minute. You think you can wake up at 4 a.m. to hit a release button?
I mean, you could.
Yeah, you could.
You
you're
can come
on-
wake us up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel like this could be something we could get into at
There's
home.
more stuff for Papa Ham to buy.
But y'all make sure come see us at the World Deer Expo because we'll be there. Y'all also will possibly be there.
Try to be there.
We'll catch y'all on the next one.
All right, from my trap line to yours, y'all have a good one. God bless, and as always, Jesus loves you.